and welcome to Something Witchy, a Sabrina the Teenage Witch rewatch podcast. I am Laura Cotter.
And I'm Skye Richard.
And I am a little bit sniffly because I was just at the garden center of the Home Depot picking up some plants. I'm going to do an abbreviated journey of my plant journey. We're going to say 7 years ago when I was in my apartment, I could not keep a pot of flowers alive longer than like mid-July. They would just die. And I would plant different flowers every year and they just died. It kept getting longer and longer every year. And then I moved to my house and I have a little balcony. The first year I was able to plant stuff, I was like, okay, I'm going to actually concentrate this year. We're going to lock down and we're going to try flowers again. I had a big pot of flowers, kept them alive all summer. So I was like, okay, we did that. We're going to graduate. Then I got garden boxes to go along my railings. Kept 3 of the 4, I think, alive because the 4th one was my south-facing one. And I tried to plant little miniature sunflowers and it just didn't work out. So I'm not blaming that one on neglect. Blaming that one on poor choice of plants in the wrong container. Last year was the year I graduated to edible plants. So I had strawberries and I had a mini pepper plant. I got 5 mini peppers.
Ooh.
They were all about the size of a $50. They were supposed to be a couple inches. No, they were teensy.
Extra mini.
And I got 3 or 4 tiny strawberries. Part of that is because I realized mid-July/late July that I should have been fertilizing my pepper plant starting in June. So this year we have a pot of flowers. We have 3 flower boxes. We have 1 box with strawberries and basil. I have a pot of mini peppers, a pot of cherry tomatoes, and a pot of a big strawberry plant. And I've been keeping an eye on them. They've been doing okay. I ate my first strawberry today.
Ooh.
So I got to check off on my goal bingo card, grow something edible. Did it. Done. I have 1 tiny tomato that's starting. It's about the size of a pea. But I noticed my strawberries were getting munched on by something invisible. And it was really pissing me off. So that's why I got the basil to go with the 1 box strawberry. And I was like, if 1 basil is good, 2 basils must be fantastic. And then I was reading and I had planted marigold seeds in my tomato and my pepper plant. And I think they just died in my pepper plant. I have 2 popping up in my tomato, but I'm like, this is taking too long. I need the benefits of the marigolds now. So I bought marigolds, I bought another basil, and then I bought some more soil because I need to repot Mabel's catnip plant. That catnip plant's been alive for 2 years. So it's done its time. We're ready for a new one. And I also gave it way too much of a haircut the last time I trimmed it and kind of killed it. So I am so proud that in the span of 7 years, I've gone from killing petunias to we kind of have a garden happening in my tiny little porch.
All you need is some toast and some ricotta in that strawberry and basil planter.
Oh.
You'll have a good meal.
I have plans for strawberry and basil lemonade for all summer long. I already have the cheese I'm going to use to make my pesto. I'm going to do an almond base because good luck finding a pine nut anywhere. So we're doing almond pesto. And I figure if it's gross, I already have the almonds, so I didn't waste any money on them.
It's true.
And we'll try something else next time. And now I'm going to have so much basil. So that's what I've been up to today.
That's a good adventure.
Any adventures from your end?
I've been leveling out half of my backyard by hand, so
Ooh.
I got quoted $1,200 to $1,300 to have someone just come in and I've cleared all the weeds. It was I just want half an inch skimmed off.
Yeah.
It's for $1,200, hell no. I will break my back, put that money towards going to concerts or...
Is it a shovel and toss it? Or is it it compact it down?
It's flat shovel. Have cleared out half of it there. I've had to take a pause because I'm moving my dirt mound now to the back of the other side of the yard that isn't landscaped yet, and I'm making elevated rock garden since I have a shit ton of boulders and rocks as well. So I'm moving that dirt now over so that then I can skim the final part of this land I'm clearing, and then I have to, rototill it, throw some sand mixture, get a leveling rake, and eventually I'll have huge garden boxes. But TBD if I actually plant anything by this season.
If you want some catnip, let me know because I have 3 started right now. I have 3 pots of catnip that are going.
Oh, nice.
I can never run out of catnip ever again for Mabel.
Yeah. The wasps really love the catio, so I did plant earlier this year. Along the side by the gate, I have 4 huge barrels of contained mints. So one is catnip. The cats have their free buffet. And then I sneakily, if plants like get demolished, get $2.50 starter from down the road there. So might need to steal some, but also did like spearmint, peppermint, lemon balm. And then in between those, like in the ground, I did like citronella plants as well. So eventually that's going to be like a very fragrant corner. And hopefully the wasps are like, no, and leave, but still waiting for that.
That was partially why my plant would die in the apartment, because we'd have wasps that would come back every year and try to build their nest on our balcony. Eventually, I realized if you just spray it and kill the wasps, but leave the nest, the wasps think there's already wasps living there and they won't come back. That's why like I just stopped going outside in the summer to water the plant. I was like, you're on your own.
It's interesting because I've always heard knock the nest down because they'll be drawn to the smell of their fallen comrades.
No, once I left the nest there and just like shot it with the like foam that shoots really far away, and I was like huddled in the doorway, completely covered. And once I left the nest there, they never came back again.
Interesting.
Garden Adventures with Skye and Laura. I'm actually following up on something from last episode. I started reading The Big Sleep.
Ooh, how is it?
It is super sexist.
Well, it is like a 1930s, right?
It is average sexist for the time, maybe even lower than average sexist for the 30s. I'm 2 chapters in, so we're not very far, but there were a couple quotes that I enjoyed. So this is the very first paragraph, and he's kind of establishing like when it is, and then there's this sentence: I was neat, clean, shaved, and sober, and I didn't care who knew it.
What a rascal.
You flaunt that sobriety. I was everything the well-dressed private detective ought to be. And then like at some point I just started like reading this in the like 30s detective voice in my head, and it made it so much better.
Nice.
There's a part where he's describing a stained glass window. It's a knight in dark armor rescuing a lady who was tied to a tree and didn't have any clothes on, but some very long and convenient hair. The knight had pushed the visor of his helmet back to be sociable, and he was fiddling with the knots on the ropes that tied the lady to the tree and not getting anywhere. I stood there and thought that if I lived in the house, I would sooner or later have to climb up there and help him. He didn't seem to be really trying. It's just so random. It's so random. When we finally meet the daughter of the guy that he's working for, the way he describes her, small and delicately put together, but she looked durable.
Okay.
At one point, she's flirting with him and she puts her thumb in her mouth and like sucks it like a child. Apparently, that's the way young 20-somethings flirted in the 30s. I don't know. She also hits him with this line: "You're cute. I'm cute too."
Ooh.
It's ridiculous, and I enjoy it. I'm uncomfortable with descriptions of some orchids in the second chapter. So he's working for this old general who's being blackmailed. And this is how the general describes the orchids. They are nasty things. Their flesh is too much like the flesh of men, and their perfume has the rotten sweetness of a prostitute. So I don't know. I'm very uncomfortable. I'm more uncomfortable with how they're describing the orchids in the second chapter than I am the woman in the first chapter. Yeah, I mean, it's a 30s detective novel. It is everything I hoped it to be.
Sounds like a doozy.
I will continue to update if it's interesting. If it's not, I will never bring it up ever again. And if Skye cuts this out of the final edit, I know it's not interesting. All right. I have a 2-part question. One is going to be fast, and one I think is going to take forever, and I'm putting it now instead of later in the episode because I want to get it out of the way. Our question of the week: have you ever stolen anything that you would be outside of the statute of limitations for if you admitted to on this podcast?
Hearts. No.
Or have you ever said anything stolen?
Someone once stole my MP3 player in high school.
Rude.
Out of my car. Still mad about it. That was like an $80 MP3 player back in the day.
Somebody stole my TI-86.
No.
Yeah. Out of my backpack during class.
Oh my gosh. Those were the best.
And they were so expensive.
So expensive.
So we had to buy a new one because I had to have that calculator for class. And so my dad like etched my name into the back of the new one.
Oh, bastards. Both of those people.
I've definitely illegally downloaded music.
Yeah, I guess that's stealing.
I don't know if I could still get in trouble for using it, or if because I downloaded it so long ago, I won't get in trouble for it. I still use a bootleg version of Adobe Acrobat Pro. It's Adobe 9.
That's crazy. It's still working.
Oh, it works great. How long ago did 9 come out? Oh, you can actually like buy the CD on eBay for $50. It came out in 2008. Yeah, I'm past. We're good. They ended support for it back in 2013. Nobody cares about that.
once for like director's labs, there would be like large parties each weekend after like people had finished shooting for the week pre-COVID. And once me and my friend went and like we're watching all the drunk people, people watching there and waited for the opportune moment and then ran to the freezer because we knew they had like Totino's frozen pizzas or something like that and like grabbed 2 pizzas and ran out the house and went back to our own lodging and had frozen pizza.
I feel like that's the least of what Sundance owes you, so fair game. We're not counting stuff we stole from work. That doesn't count. There's one song I downloaded, and I thought it was just me, but I've come to find out like everybody has this version. There's a version of a song that we all downloaded off of Napster or LimeWire that has the like log out noise from AOL Instant Messenger in it, which is like the door slam noise.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like some techno song. And I was just assumed that it was like my crappy copy because you never knew what you were going to get when you downloaded music. And apparently like everyone has this copy.
Crazy.
Tattoos, all the things she said, everybody has it.
Hmm.
And now every time I hear the song like on streaming, I like am expecting the door noise and I don't hear it and I get really confused. All right, our larger discussion that I think we need to do at the head. Well, do we want to do credits first or do we want to do this discussion first?
Let's do credits first because I think that question goes into my overall thoughts.
Okay. So we are on season 3, episode 20. We are in the 20s. It is Sabrina's pen pal. TV guide description. Sabrina finally meets her pen pal from the other realm who is also a wanted jewel thief. Streaming description. Sabrina discovers her new pen pal witch is wanted in 2 realms. Google does not like that this is witch, W-I-T-C-H. It wants it to be W-H-I-C-H. I kind of agree that when you say it out loud, the streaming one is a little awkward.
Yeah.
It originally aired March 26, 1999. Hulu says March 25th, but that was a Thursday, so that's a lie. Gary Halverson is our director. We have a couple writers. So we have Kelly Baker, and this is her only writing credit. And then we have Danita Jones. She was a writer on Frasier and then a producer on Project Runway and a supervising producer on my new favorite show, Couples Therapy. I forgot that was in the credits here. I am obsessed with that show. Skye gave me the login for their Paramount Plus. That's also considered stealing, I think. Technically.
I think they don't crack down yet. So thank you, Paramount. Paramount's no Disney. Like, Paramount's like...
No, Netflix. Netflix is the worst. Disney, I can still get into my sister's Disney account. Netflix is the one that kicks... Because, like, me and my dad share it, and each time we have to be like, can I have it for a couple weeks now? Like, oh, Netflix is the worst. Is it just me, or is the Paramount app terrible?
Oh, it is horrendous.
Okay.
Good luck turning captions on.
Yeah, the captions are terrible. They don't stay on once you turn them on. And then I realized it doesn't have, at least under, like, Nikki's/my profile, it doesn't have a continue watching unless it's way far down the list. I had to add couples therapy to the my stuff so it would show up. So apologies to Nikki, because the only thing it's going to show now is couples therapy. We also have something interesting on the writing credits for this episode. As far as we've seen so far, the only one that specifically calls out writing credits as based on characters created by Dan DeCarlo and John Goldwater, who are both writers for the Sabrina comics. Writing credits were a little weird on this one. We have 3 guest stars and a uncredited voice, and I don't know who it is. We start off with Lisa Dar as Martha from Gods and Monsters, This Is 40, Life as We Know It, and Hannah Montana, the movie. Alexander Folk is the detective from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Sid and Nancy, Dreamgirls, and Mama's Family. And lastly, David Getz as the security guard from The Ultimate Game, The Day the World Ended, and Countermeasures. And then we get no credit for the voice of the TV news announcer. So, I don't know.
Could have brought our chicken friend back.
I know. Well, I think it was Mortal News.
Still, could have brought the chicken back. The mortals won't notice.
At this point, I would take a chicken. All right, what were your overall thoughts, Skye?
It was a good episode. It's not my favorite. I think most of it I spent confused because, like we learned in Sabrina the writer, through her journey, as well as Faulkner's journey, like character motivation is a big thing.
Yes.
And Salem, why are you trying to kill yourself? Like, there is no background or context. It's just out of the blue, so it's very distracting just thinking of like why. But based on the question you have here in the notes, I have a terrible hypothesis, but it could be a hypothesis.
All right. Do you want me to ask the question?
Do it.
How does the fact that Salem has potentially multiple lives or had multiple lives, assuming that applies to also other witches turned into cats, how does this affect the house cat soul discussion from Salem the boy?
So I feel like we are, how to phrase this? I am correct as far as this cat soul discussion.
Okay.
First of all, they created life. Like the body of Salem became a cat, just like how Sabrina physically became a cat. And then suddenly there's magically a cat. Cat soul. But my hypothesis is that there are 9 lives because human turned into a cat. Cat bodies have different timelines and such, so the 9 lives helps extend through your sentence, whatnot there. So if you're sentenced as a cat for 100 years, or 9 times 20 gives you 180 leeway there. So you last in your cat body there. So I think that's how that affects the soul portion.
Okay. If it's supposed to help the cat last, though, Salem's only 20-something years into his sentence, and he's down to 1.
Yes, well.
What happens for the next 80? No, plus another 50. What happens the next 130 years?
I just said it was a terrible hypothesis. And during the episode, before we found out, you're actually at 1.
Yeah.
What my mind went to was like, oh, well, if he gets rid of these like lives, it's like a countdown of like he has to turn back to a human when he reaches 1 or 0 or something. There is what I was thinking during the episode. And now I have no clue. And I think I talked myself into a circle trying to explain what my brain was saying.
I have kind of a dark theory that builds on yours.
Okay.
It's really sad. Don't get sad. What if the cost of doing the change requires like a sacrifice of cats?
No. Rejected.
Okay.
Denied.
I told you it was dark and sad. All right. Well, we will never get answers on this. It's an average episode of Sabrina. It's not bad. It's not the best. It's good. Would watch again. Okay, let's get into it. Our cold open. A bunch of mail is by the toaster when everyone comes down to the kitchen in their pajamas. Sabrina got a letter from her pen pal, Martha. Salem got something from the Witches' Council accounting offices. And Hilda and Zelda got their Christmas presents from their mother 4 months late. And it's really not clear that the letter was for Salem. In fact, in my notes, I said it was addressed to Zelda because in the frame, it's just Hilda and Zelda, and there's no indication from Caroline that she's talking. There's no like eye contact to where Salem is. There's no handing the letter off to him. I definitely thought it was for Zelda. Not a fantastically shot scene. Salem is excited because there was a clerical error, and he actually has 9 lives left, not 6.
He says, "This means I can start living more dangerously. Hello, X Games." ESPN had the inaugural Extreme Games, aka X Games, in 1995 in Providence, Rhode Island. Activities included skateboard, street, and vert, barefoot water ski jumping, street luge, BMX, both dirt, street, and vert, and dual downhill mountain bike. The first Winter X Games was held in 1997 in Big Bear Lake, California, and featured competitions such as snow mountain biking, ice climbing, shovel racing, skiing, and snowboarding.
Is dual downhill mountain bike like synchronized swimming on bikes?
That's a great question. 90s were like crazy with some of those, and some of these have been retired, obviously. Like shovel racing was literally, they were like making box cars with shovel parts and going like down these hills.
Sounds fun. Are you looking up the biking?
It seems like it's just a one-on-one match and not like multiple people. It's just you versus one other person.
I feel like synchronized downhill biking would be more fun and more difficult. Put it into the X Games. Zelda got a locket with a tiny nuclear reactor in it for her gift. Hilda got a gift certificate for ball bearings. And I literally just learned what ball bearings are and how they work because I kept finding tiny bead-like balls all around my house, and it turns out my desk chair is falling apart.
Oh, dear.
So I'm going to get new wheels or get a new chair. My dad was like, what in your house has ball bearings? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what that is. You tell me, father.
Good job getting your bearings around ball bearings.
Martha has asked Sabrina to visit her in her letter. Hilda immediately says no because she's grumpy, but Zelda gives permission.
Hilda says, I don't want to be the only miserable person in the room.
And I object to this as someone who was growing up during this time. Because I equate this to saying, hey, Mom, I have a friend I've been chatting with on the internet. They want me to go visit them. The parental unit being like, yeah, sure, that's fine. Go to the other realm where you've almost died multiple times and meet a stranger you've never met in person. Apparently, they know nothing about, or else they could have given her some warnings.
Yeah.
What? What is this parenting?
And they've known about the pen pal, and yet we're gonna see here in a little bit that there's different types of pen pals, and they didn't bother to say.
And they didn't ask, like, how did you get hooked up with them? Like, what program did you go? Like, how did Sabrina find this on her own? She can barely find anything in her magic book. I'm to believe that this girl just sought out volunteer work in the other realm on her own? Nope. It breaks down here. Does not make sense. Salem celebrates the toaster being stuck and pokes it with a knife. Hilda stops him and ends up getting shocked herself. And then a little piece of toast pops out of her pajama pocket, which I thought was a really fun gag and made me forget about being mad about the Zelda thing earlier. Our outfit intro is a basketball uniform, and she says, I find this the only acceptable form of dribbling. Harvey and Sabrina notice that Mr. Kraft's office is taped off as they walk down the hall. Some kids filled his desk up with manure again. I mean, I kind of don't blame Mr. Kraft for being so grumpy at this point. Harvey directs Sabrina into an empty classroom to give her an anniversary gift of the first time they met 2 years ago. And I'm pulling this from the Sabrina wiki. So he says, it was 2 years ago today that I saw you across a crowded hallway and felt a twinge in my heart. And then Sabrina says, and then you hit me on the head with a football. But if we remember our pilot episode, the Witches' Council allows Sabrina to turn back time a day. She doesn't get hit by the football. She manages to catch it. So how is Harvey remembering this? How is Sabrina expecting him to remember this? Additionally, they met at the beginning of the school year. We've established that this is 4 months after Christmas. So this is April in world. And Harvey also says he wasn't smooth when he was a freshman. We are in the second junior year. It's established in the pilot that they're sophomores. Do we think that this is the writers trying to rewrite history to excuse this random extra year of high school?
Maybe trying to retcon us.
Yeah.
Or they just forgot.
I mean, yeah. No one was paying attention to the small details. Again, just like Zelda saying, sure, go off to the other realm and meet a stranger. This does not make sense. Does not work. Well, he gives her the gift, and it's a genuine diamond chip on a necklace. It's a genuine diamond, according to Harvey. Harvey helps put the necklace on her when Mr. Kraft comes in and tells them to report to the cafeteria for fingerprinting. Sabrina and Harvey finish getting fingerprinted. Mr. Kraft just finished a private detective course and got an emerald tie clip that says Dick. He's using his new skills to find out who is vandalizing the school.
From now on, nothing gets by Willard Kraft, P.I.
And he actually does a decent job of investigating in this episode. He turns to reveal 2 signs taped to his back. Sabrina is visiting Martha in an other realm library. And have you noticed that when we have scene transitions in the mortal realm, they're usually like just a flip or just a quick transition, but when we're in the other realm, our scene transitions are like a flash of white fading, or like it's like fancier.
I have not noticed. I'll have to keep an eye out for that.
I noticed it first in the Sabrina and the Pirates one because the scene transition was different in the mortal realm when they went to get their fake IDs than it was in the other realm. And then I noticed it here too. When we transition from the previous scene into this library scene, it's a different transition effect. I don't know if they did it in earlier seasons and I've just noticed, but we'll have to see if it keeps going on. Martha is a nervous, conservatively dressed librarian. Sabrina makes a joke, and Martha silently swallows back laughter while covering her mouth. She says Sabrina is so funny that sometimes Martha actually laughs so hard she makes a sound. Sabrina encourages Martha to come visit her in the mortal realm, but Martha isn't allowed. She's magic-free because she was too timid to use her powers, so the council took them away. Although Sabrina could turn her into something small and put her into Sabrina's bag since they never check carry-ons, and that joke landed better in a pre-9/11 world.
Yeah.
Sabrina asks her what she wants to be turned into.
Duty-free bottle of scotch or a pet.
And Martha asks to be a cat. Zelda discovers that she can actually save time in a bottle with her mother's nuclear necklace gift. Hilda is using her gift as a coaster. Sabrina arrives back in her room where Salem has a rocket strapped to his back, but Sabrina refuses to light it.
Sabrina says, Salem, I'm not going to launch you. The neighbors think we're weird enough already. Salem says, how am I going to use up some lives if you people continue to be hung up on this thou shalt not kill kick? First off, neighbors definitely think they're weird enough. See your battle with the neighbor the other day, Salem.
Didn't we just break all the neighbors' windows?
And it sounds like Salem should just go chat with Hilda, and Hilda would gladly, knock a couple off.
Except for Hilda stopped the earlier attempt with the toaster.
Maybe she can't let him because she's like his keeper.
Yeah, maybe that's part of her job.
As much as she'd like to give in to her proclivities, she cannot.
Sabrina pulls Cat Martha out of her bag and tries to zap her back, but can't.
Salem has a great sarcastic line of, oh, sharing your secrets with a cat. What a change of pace for you.
I mean, it's not like Sabrina usually wants to share her secrets with Salem. He's just only one around. Salem clarifies that her finger has jet lag, but it will be fine in a few hours.
Now, if you don't mind, expose me to a virus.
And this one I also cringed at in a current hantavirus/Ebola world. Sabrina apologizes to Cat Martha and puts her on the bench at the end of her bed.
Salem says, I'm not coughing up blood, to remind her to do her duty.
This would be rewritten in today's world. Sabrina wakes up the next morning and is able to turn Martha back into a human. Martha looks different because her hair is down and now you can see her shoulders.
She's taller because she's not slumping.
Sabrina also thanks her for not attacking her feet in the night. And I'm like, is that what Salem does to you? Does the cat soul come out at night and just Martha did a lot of nervous grooming in the night.
She says, that black cat kept trying to goad me into a knife fight.
Sabrina offers to take Martha to see her school, which who doesn't want to go see a mortal high school? Sabrina and Martha walk down the hall and run into Harvey. He asks where she's from. She starts to answer the other realm, but Sabrina covers it up with the other realm drive in Virginia. Harvey asks Sabrina if she showed Martha the necklace he gave her, which is, hey, new friend, did you see what I bought my girlfriend? So weird. Sabrina goes to show it off, but it's no longer around her neck. Did she sleep in it? I always was taught don't sleep in necklaces because they could strangle you. That's what my mother told me. Sabrina goes to show it off, but it's no longer around her neck. Sabrina freezes everyone and zaps herself back into her room where she tosses it but can't find the necklace. She zaps back to the school, unfreezes everyone, and tells Harvey that it's at home. Sabrina finally tells a good and believable lie for once in her life. Mr. Kraft comes out to write Sabrina up for having a guest with no visitor pass, but Sabrina can take her to the office. Martha, overwhelmed, declines and huddles facing the wall by the water fountain.
Harvey says, Virginians don't get out much, do they?
Virginians, please pipe in. Mr. Kraft tells Harvey and Sabrina to get to class while he takes Martha to the office to get a pass. Mr. Kraft approaches Martha, and suddenly she's no longer shy, complimenting his tie clip in his eyes.
Oh my. Is that an emerald tie clip, or am I just fixating on your eyes?
And for a man who is dating Miss Smoke Show Zelda Beth Broderick, he is far too into this.
Yeah, his eyes turn a little.
He's not offended, and he doesn't say anything. And I have more issues about this later on. Salem begs Zelda to let him wrestle an alligator in the living room, but she won't budge.
I don't care how many lives you have. I don't have time to pick up cat entrails out of the carpet.
I know you could just zap those.
Yeah, I think there's a spell for that.
Hilda comes in, having just filled their mother's living room with 2 tons of cracked corn. And I put a note in here that says, what actually is cracked corn?
Well, Laura, cracked corn is dried whole kernels of corn that have been milled down to smaller, easier to digest pieces and is used as animal feed. Chickens, goats, sheep, cattle, the whole lot there. And at Tractor Supply Company, my favorite store to go to for supplies, bulk supplies.
Oh, I thought you just meant like in general.
I mean, it's fun. You can get a 50-pound bag of cracked corn for $9.99.
That is cheap.
Yeah, we get pine pellets. We use pine pellets as litter because it doesn't smell as much, and we get 40 pounds for $7 from the Tractor Supply Co.
I make Mabel use the multiple household cat litter. Like, I know there's just one of you, but we're not smelling a single thing. Is that the store that has the baby chicks sometimes?
Yeah, you could see those baby chicks, maybe eat some cracked corn.
Can I buy a bag of cracked corn and then feed it to the baby chicks and just just sit there all day.
Yes, it's basically a petting zoo.
I mean, it looks like it. BYOCC. Later that day, Mr. Kraft is going down the hall and Sabrina asks him where Martha is.
He says, "Oh, that's a very good question. We were enjoying a skimmed milk in my office and she stepped out to freshen up. Next thing I know, the door is locked. No one is heeding my screams for help and I had to crawl out through an air duct."
So not only does he not object to her flirting with him, he is having drinks in his office with this girl? Excuse me, what? And we know that skimmed milk for Mr. Kraft is like a normal drink for other people.
I could use a glass of milk right now, actually.
This
That
is
sounds
why
good.
Mr. Kraft needs milk. Okay, Mr. Kraft, you deserve to get locked in that office.
With the manure desk.
Oh, yeah, it might not have been cleaned up. Sabrina says she needs to go find her because Martha is shy. Mr. Kraft scoffs at this and tries to yell about Martha's true personality, but gets strangled by his tie that Sabrina accidentally shut in her locker door. Mr. Kraft then notices his emerald tie pin is missing.
We also see now on Sabrina's locker, there's some more written graffiti that says Todd dishes. Now, what does Todd dish? We'll probably never know, but Todd does in fact dish.
We should have asked Curtis about the locker graffiti to see if he knew about why the one person is tardy and now Todd dishes. Side note, I shared a recent post in the Sabrina subreddit about, I think, Salem the Boy episode, because like I'm a little bit behind in posting in Reddit versus our other social media. And someone on there was like, Gordy's my favorite. I love Curtis Anderson. And I was like, oh, so funny. We actually have an interview like that's the next episode. And they're like, tell him he's hot. Like, we've already recorded it, unfortunately. But I'm like, do I screenshot this and just send it to Curtis and be like, message delivered?
You should.
Or if he's listening to this, he's now heard it. And there we go. We're done. We get a montage to the song Wicked Ways by Garbage. Did you get actual music on Paramount?
No, I got the lyrics as subtitles, but that's it.
Paramount's garbage. But it does have couples therapy, and boy, do I love that show. So our montage, Martha pulls a fire alarm. Sabrina searches the hallway for her. Martha goes into the now empty classroom and steals wallets out of bags and maybe calculators out of bags if she's completely psychopathic. Sabrina runs into the classroom just after Martha leaves it. Martha goes back to the Spellman house and breaks into a wall safe that just has loose jewelry sitting in it. Martha takes Hilda's earrings as she naps on the couch. That jewelry, one, that is not enough jewelry for how long they've been alive and how much they would have accumulated. Two, that is the smallest little, it goes back like 4 inches into the wall. And 3, that's not how you would display jewels. They'd not just be loose in a pile. They'd be in like boxes and cases or like display stands.
Not for the Spellmans.
Because I'm like, oh, those are just their crappy jewels they don't care about and they just throw them in a pile. Sabrina arrives home and calls for Martha. Sabrina hears pounding from upstairs and goes to investigate. Hilda and Zelda are boarding up the linen closet door.
Hilda says, "I still say we should have gone for a good old-fashioned moat."
Hasn't she advocated for a moat before in this series?
I like Hilda's very medieval-centered mind. We have some cannons, we have some armor, we have our moats.
They got news that a dangerous jewel thief escaped from the other realm. A wanted poster slides under the door.
Hilda says, "Oh, I hate artist renderings. They always look like Doodles Weaver in a stocking cap." Doodles Weaver was an American character actor, comedian, and musician. He lived from 1911 to 1983. Weaver's mother gave him the nickname of Doodlebug because of his large ears and freckles. And then we have some throwbacks to some previous shows we have talked about when going over credits because he made guest appearances on The Monkees, and he had a cameo in the movie It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. Also, his niece is Sigourney Weaver.
Also, that was where we got the Mad, Mad, Mad season opener from.
Exactly.
Also, I just looked up what a doodlebug looks like, and I do not get that nickname. I mean, it's kind of spotty, but I don't get that. Sabrina notices the resemblance to Martha, but dismisses it. She goes into her bedroom with the aunts behind her to find a large pile of jewels and a chemistry textbook. And we get a new camera angle, and someone says Jules right as the door opens, but I have no idea who it is. The voice sounds weird. None of their mouths move. And it doesn't make sense for either the aunts to say the word because the door didn't open all the way up for them to see it yet. It's almost like the door hinge made a squeak and the squeak said jewels. Like the timing of it, that's what it was. Did you hear somebody say jewels?
Yeah, I think it was Hilda there as far as the voice. Like, yes, it sounded a little off, but it was as if Hilda was saying it with like a little raspy, or like you need to say the line again because like her voice cracked almost.
I don't think it was said in that shot. I think it was like added later, or it was like leftover audio from a different take.
Yeah, I think
that
it
they
was just
inserted.
a editing mishap.
It was weird. It didn't look like anybody moved their mouths to say it. And the word jewels just came out of nowhere. Sabrina finishes her story to her aunts about how she brought Martha to the mortal realm. Zelda points out she signed up for a pen pal with a capital P, a pal in the penitentiary. The most dangerous criminals are always assigned library shelving duties. They then hear Salem yelling and run out in a panic, sure that Martha has him.
Cauldron watch note of we still have the regular disappointing pens, but now there's also a large blue card, it seems to be. It's too thin to be a notebook. Sticking out of the cauldron, blocking the hideous pens.
Maybe it's the card Martha sent saying, come visit me.
Oh, maybe. That would be too much continuity, though, I think.
Salem is making sushi, specifically fugu.
When they ask him why he's yelling, he says, expressing sheer delight. I'm making a type of sushi known as fugu. If it's not prepared exactly right, it can be lethal. Hope, hope. And fugu is made with puffer fish.
Isn't it one of the things you can make in The Sims that could like kill your sim?
I've never actually ever played The Sims.
What?
I know.
That is actually very shocking to me. Okay, well, if you ever want to play The Sims, I will not play it for like 10 years and then I'll like go on a kick for 6 months where I'll play it just all the time.
Did you watch Charlie the Unicorn?
Of course I literally just sent a Shun the Non-Believer meme to my friend Stephanie 2 days ago.
Nice. Well, sometimes in my head from Charlie the Unicorn 2, I'll get swim away, fugu fish, swim away.
That one too, yes. Neopleurodon. The millennial video I've been watching a lot in the past couple of years is the end of the world one. We watched that so much in high school. Suddenly, a special report comes on the TV where he was watching the cooking show.
Salem says, hot dog, I'm going to miss how to devein the poison sac.
The reporter states that there has been a rash of jewel robberies in Westbridge. Mr. Kraft gets interviewed, and the reporter says the thief was seen talking to a blonde accomplice. There's more banging noises from upstairs, and the three women run off to see what it is. And Salem has a line about, they run way too much. There is now a rope leading out of Sabrina's open window. Martha has taken off with the stolen goods. Hilda also breaks the news that all their jewels are missing from their safe.
Sabrina says, oh no, we have jewels. Zelda says, of course. Sabrina says, oh, we have a safe?
Zelda and Hilda figure out that Martha is using the jewels to buy potions on the black market so she can have magic again. Sabrina is still stuck on the fact that they have a safe. Zelda tells Sabrina to go back to the school since that's where Martha got the book and the rope. What is the point of the book? It is called out. It is very prominently placed in the pile of jewels with the rope. Are we to believe the chemistry book is supposed to help her somehow with the potions?
I guess. Like, the chemistry book will let her know to go find a fire potion. Like, it's weak.
A mortal general high school chemistry book. Sure. Hilda will call the Other Realm police, and Zelda will look for info on Martha on the Witch Wide Web. Sabrina runs into Harvey in the empty school. He just got out of wrestling practice. Sabrina opens her locker and jewels fall out. Sabrina calls them props from the school play. And rich people is not an actual play, correct?
Correct. She's just making up terrible things like she does.
I had a moment where I was like, you know what? There are a lot of plays and musicals out there I am unaware of. Sabrina shoves the jewels in her locker as Mr. Kraft spies her around the corner. He thinks Sabrina is the jewel thief.
And a future prison laundry employee.
Sabrina and Harvey leave, and Martha comes out of an empty classroom to get into Sabrina's locker. Mr. Kraft also watches her. Martha takes the jewels and leaves. Sabrina sends Harvey off alone as she continues her search of the school. We get a traditional cat and mouse scene of Sabrina, Martha, and Mr. Kraft all chasing after each other. Zelda learns that Martha was imprisoned for stealing the Star of Orion, the rarest gem in the universe.
And was also once owned by Elizabeth Taylor.
In this world, is Elizabeth Taylor a witch?
I feel like it.
Okay, I accept. It can be used to steal power from other witches. It's on display at the Otherrealm Museum of Cosmic Debris.
Next to a chunk of Skylab. Skylab was the US first experimental space station. It orbited the Earth from 1973 to 1979. Sure is a lot of space stuff for these witches.
Because they're aliens. Did it crash into the Earth?
It did fall prematurely and burnt up above the Indian Ocean.
Oh, okay. It burned up. It didn't hit anything. Okay.
Did not.
Okay. Martha's probably going there to steal it. Salem munches on his fugu sushi, but does not immediately die, much to his disappointment. Zelda and Hilda remove the boards from the linen closet and zap off to the other realm. Chasing continues as Martha, then Sabrina, then Mr. Kraft run into the Spellman house. Then Martha goes into the linen closet to the other realm, followed by Sabrina. And lastly, Mr. Kraft opens the closet, convinced he will find them, only to see that it's empty. He goes inside and the door closes, sending him to the other realm.
Is that a black hole? Ow, my eyes!
And this is the biggest argument we have seen for Drell no longer being in charge, because Mr. Kraft goes to the other realm and does not get turned into an insect at any point.
Those guards aren't like, oh, you're a cat-eated now.
Drell has been deposed. Sabrina arrives at the museum and finds someone hiding behind a display. It's the ants. Sabrina says she followed Martha there, and Zelda knows for sure now that she's going to try and steal the Star of Orion. Zelda has a plan. Cast a hand in the cookie jar spell. Once Martha grabs the star, a cookie jar will appear around her hand, but they have to be next to the stone to enact it, and there are deadly lasers in their way. Zelda found the control box for the lasers, but it's magic-proof. Sabrina tells her to use her nuclear necklace to blow it open. Zelda tries to blast it, but nothing happens. Mr. Kraft wanders through the museum, trying to talk to himself to stay calm. Zelda notices there wasn't a battery included with her necklace, so it won't work.
Hilda says, I know we're doomed, but I feel an incredible sense of justice.
They go back to the drawing board, and Zelda realizes they need someone who's not afraid to die. She zaps in Salem, who is singing while washing up in a tiny bathtub. What's the plan? Because if Salem just gets killed by the beams are still on. So just have him keep running through as he uses up all of his lives. But then he's in the middle and he can't cast magic, so he can't cast the cookie jar spell.
Yeah.
What's the plan here?
Definitely like a doesn't care, he'll crawl under the laser beam, and if he gets hit, he gets hit. But yeah, the second part of he can't cast any magic, definitely.
I mean, he could knock it off of the pedestal maybe and slide it to him. I don't know. This was not well thought out. Anyway, so she's absent Salem, who's singing while washing up in a tiny bathtub. That bathtub was so cute.
It was.
They ask him to run through the security beams. Salem eagerly jumps out of the bath and goes to the lasers before realizing how hot they are and goes back to his bathtub.
You don't understand. I blister easily, sob. I need aloe. Zap me home, you mean, mean women. Sobs again.
All three women are disappointed in him, and Zelda zaps him home. Mr. Kraft continues to wander, and Martha, in a black cat burglar suit, sneaks behind him.
Mr. Kraft, as he wanders, says, hello? Okay, be cool, Kraft. You are either lost in a parallel universe, or you're being digested.
When you talk to yourself, do you use your last name or your first name?
Neither.
You just say you. I've definitely called myself Laura before. I've called myself by my sister's name before accidentally.
I don't think I necessarily think in my name. I more think of well, that was stupid.
I think I usually say my name when I'm way to go, Laura. It's derogatory. Zelda asks Hilda for her ball-bearing coupon.
Hilda says, just because your present stinks doesn't mean you can have mine.
But it's shiny, and they can use it to reflect one of the lasers onto the control box to open it. Zelda successfully directs a beam to the box, exploding it open. Unfortunately, she burns a hole in Hilda's coupon.
Hilda says, haha, not only is my gift better than yours, but now you owe me a whole bunch of ball bearings.
Sabrina turns off the lasers, and Zelda runs to cast the spell on the stone.
Whoever touches this stone from a star, encase their hand in a cookie jar.
I think sometimes Zelda's spells are the worst.
They're very to the point.
They are. Zelda's strength is potions. They hear footsteps coming and realize Martha is almost there. Sabrina turns the beams back on with the door to the switch panel, the door panel, wide open, making everything else that happens from here on Pointless. Everyone hides. Martha comes in and examines the beams, then drinks a potion. She turns into a fire and burns under the beams. Hilda wonders why they didn't think of that. And at this point, I freaked out, saying, yeah, why didn't you? Because wasn't that one of the biggest things Sabrina had to learn last season for her witch's license? One of the many, most important quizzes she had to pass?
That was year 2 of being a sophomore. So we're retconning.
Or year 1 of being a junior. Who knows?
Yeah. Time warp, loopy, wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
Jeremy Bearimy.
Jeremy Bearimy.
Martha grabs the stone and a cookie jar appears around her hand. She drinks more of the fire potion and again turns into flames. The cookie jar falls and shatters as Martha turns to ash.
Zelda says, maybe I should have encanted with the unbreakable plastic cookie jar spell, which I'm sure is that one plastic, forget the number, that we have found witches cannot interact with, but also maybe just do the unbreakable cookie jar always as a default.
Such a bad idea, because any witch could do this, especially if it's breakable. You just gotta whack it on something. Yeah, you'll get cut, but you'll have whatever it is you wanted. This is such a bad plan, and I'm so deeply disappointed in Zelda for this terrible plan. Speaking of plastic, apparently that does come back in a later season.
Ooh.
So we will have that discussion. And somebody let me know, I think in the YouTube comments, that we do get gods in a later season. So
thank you, YouTube person.
I'm pretty sure it's YouTube. Or maybe Spotify. It's either YouTube or Spotify. I was checking comments for both of them. Mr. Kraft now joins and decides to try and clean up the Martha ashes. He's worried about being digested or in another realm, and he's just decided he's going to tidy things up. I think the more I talk about this episode, the more I'm not liking it because the logic just fails at every single turn.
Maybe he has to hyper-focus on the mess for, escapism, because there's, death laser beams. There's an alien, mounted on the wall is, an alien head.
Oh, I didn't
looks
notice that.
very much, out of the movie Aliens in a way.
Okay.
There's, a full-on mounted alien head. That room is crazy.
Well, he tries to clean it up, but then security appears and arrests Mr. Kraft. Zelda runs out to stop them, and they get her too. One of the security guards turns off the laser beams because the panel door was never shut, and Hilda runs out to defend Zelda. A security guard places the jewel back on the pedestal before everyone leaves. Sabrina peeks out from behind her hiding place. Martha reforms from the ashes and grabs the jewel again. Sabrina jumps out to confront her about not being a very good pal. Martha apologizes and agrees. She gives Sabrina the stone. Sabrina takes it, glad that Martha isn't all bad. But the stone hums, and Martha grabs it back. Now she has Sabrina's magic. Martha runs off, and Sabrina chases after her. Somehow, Sabrina and Martha now both have vacuums and are chasing each other across the sky. And I don't know about you, but it just seems really dangerous to me to fly in a vacuum miles above a city when you have no magical powers to save you.
Agreed. Also, they've somehow magically gotten back to the mortal realm very quickly.
Salem sobs about how bad his almost burn feels, but then realizes no one is there to hear him.
Oh, they're not here. That's right. But that was a good rehearsal, though.
Mr. Kraft is being interrogated by a detective who magically slaps him.
I'm not asking you again. Where's the stone? Mr. Kraft says, it's in my kidney?
I like that one.
I was going to say, did you identify with that?
I did. Zelda again protests. The detective asks Mr. Kraft if Zelda is his accomplice, and he says, we date a little. I was so mad, I didn't even start a new paragraph for my comments. I just wrote, what? Inside my paragraph. What? We date a little. They are boyfriend-girlfriend. They have celebrated anniversaries. He moved into her house for a week, but they date a little. Okay. The detective then magically twists Mr. Kraft's arm behind his back, and I wrote, good. Someone named Boris is called in with a very large and very pink drill. Sabrina is still chasing Martha on a vacuum. Sabrina discovers she has a penny in her pocket and throws it into Martha's vacuum, causing it to break. Martha goes down.
As she's going down, she says, Mother of Mercy, is this the end of Martha?
Have you ever met anybody in real life that talks about themselves in the third person?
I don't think so.
I never have either. I'm always very curious about the people who do. The detective continues to interrogate Hilda, Zelda, and Mr. Kraft, but they don't know anything and can't give him answers. Boris fires up the drill again. Sabrina drags Martha to the interrogation room, even though Martha already gave her back her magic and tiny diamond necklace. Sabrina hears cries from outside the room and rushes in with Martha. Sabrina finds Boris using the drill on Zelda, who is laughing. It has feathers on the end, and they're using it to do tickle torture. Mr. Kraft has passed out. Hilda is being tickled now and calls out that Zelda and Mr. Kraft did it. The tickling stops, and she takes it back, realizing they've been saved.
Oh, we're saved. Never mind. And they're not communists.
Hilda would absolutely be part of McCarthyism.
100%.
100%. Which she should know better, considering it's just witch trials all over again. Sabrina tells the detective she has the real thief. He recognizes Martha and realizes she has the Star of Orion in her purse. He takes a wild leap of logic and decides Hilda, Zelda, and Mr. Kraft are innocent.
Wait a minute. She's a jewel thief, and that's the Star of Orion in her purse. I'm gonna go with my gut and say these people are not guilty.
Good job. I hope my detective in The Big Sleep is just as clever as that.
Has a solid gut, just like this detective.
Sabrina asks for thanks. Zelda and Hilda sarcastically comply.
Zelda says, yes, you did a nice job of smuggling in a dangerous criminal. Hilda says, then got us arrested and tortured.
Zelda, Hilda, and Sabrina look at Mr. Kraft, passed out on the couch, and try to think of how to explain what happened.
Sabrina says, he bumped his head and had some wild dream. Zelda says, no, we've used that one. Hilda suggests bad pork. And Sabrina says, did it twice. Love to hear these incidents where they claimed it was bad pork.
I mean, I really don't like to eat pork anyway, so I'd probably believe it. Mr. Kraft wakes up and Sabrina gaslights him about methane being found in his office that caused hallucinations.
So all you need to do is burn your clothes and take some more sulfur.
I'm slightly worried that Mr. Kraft is actually going to try to take sulfur and that's just going to harm him further. But okay. Hilda and Zelda look on unimpressed.
Hilda gives an aside to Zelda of never leave the excuse to a teenager. And or just Sabrina in general, because she's a terrible liar, as we've established, and Hilda and Zelda know thoroughly.
Yes. Mr. Kraft is skeptical at first, but then celebrates not being crazy. And our end tag. Sabrina still thinks Martha was sincere about laughing at Sabrina's jokes. Zelda comforts her about misjudging Martha. Hilda was convinced Salem was just a workaholic when he was trying to take over the world. A letter pops up from the toaster. It's for Salem, informing him he actually only has one life left. Salem panics.
One? Just one? Okay, I want a helmet, some body armor, and a quiet corner where I can avoid all danger. And will someone move that spoon? Sob.
Hilda comes down, having just gotten off the phone with her mother. The gift certificate was actually for gold earrings, not ball bearings. And at this point, I noticed Hilda still didn't have her earrings back that Martha stole. She misread the handwriting. Sabrina asks if everything is okay between them. Hilda admits that her bedroom is filled with 4 tons of cracked corn and she's not allowed to watch TV for a week.
Salem panics and says, cracked corn, isn't that one of the signs of the apocalypse? Run away!
And that is our episode. All right, Skye, what is your new title for this one?
Willard Kraft P.I.
What is your guess for the family secret?
Bird, feather, cage, beak, some variation of bird that you won't tell me. M plus fire of the Spellman. Blank blank Robert E. Lee's snake was born with a negative E. Ta-da!
In 2 episodes, we will get a lot of the clues solved for us. So if you want to try and beat it,
I gotta be quick.
You have 1 more episode to try and figure it out on your own before a lot of it's revealed to you.
I hate that.
Our next episode is season 3, episode 21, Sabrina's Real World, which you've accidentally seen part of.
Ooh, velvet smoking jacket person.
Yeah. So what do you think that one's about?
I think that dude is a narrator, and it's like a documentary about Sabrina's life. No, I think it's Sabrina loses all her magical powers and is just a normal mortal living in the real world for an episode.
See if next week Skye has a better guess for the family secret.
Asshole.
Hey. Like, share, rate, and subscribe to this podcast. You can email us at somethingwitchypod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at somethingwitchypod. That's also where you can find our threads. Until next time.
Stay magical.